Hello, Rebecca. Thank you for agreeing to join us on the quick chat.
Thank you, Shri. It's always a pleasure to see you. And thank you very much for inviting me today. So I've been with Arigatou International now since 2015. I never really retired. I left UNICEF to work with UNDP. And then I did many consultancies around the world for the UN system for over a decade, really. And then I decided to go back to work full time. And actually, I met the wonderful Buddhist leaders that established Arigatou International. I met them back in the mid-90s when I was working for UNICEF and traveling to Japan to promote what we were doing. That is what UNICEF was about. And so many years later, they asked me if I wanted to lead the New York office. And it's nice actually to know that some of our dear UNICEF former colleagues are also involved with us at Arigatou. For example, Mr. Kul Gautam. Kul Gautam is also one of our key advisors. And we've also had Marta Santos Pais as a key advisor to the work that we're doing. We have some wonderful people, really, that advise us, both from the faith community. We work for children. We promote children's rights. And what we do is we engage faith communities, diverse faith communities around the world to take action for children. And it's very gratifying, I think. It's very gratifying to work with this organization and to have dear friends that are still very much engaged and advising us. And it's like a big family, really. International got very much inspired, I should say, the late Reverend Takayasu Miyamoto, who I met back in the mid-90s, and he had met Jim Grant. He was very much inspired by UNICEF and felt that his whole life he had dedicated to promoting peace, and he felt that if he really wanted to promote peace, he needed to do it with children, for children, and engaging children. And so that's what happened. He made this transition to dedicate the work to the cause of children. And so that's what we do. And it's been an extraordinary experience working with the UN, of course, UNICEF and other like-minded organizations like World Vision, like the World Council of Churches, and many other partners. So partnership is a big part of what we do. We have four what we call initiatives. We have the Ethics Education for Children initiative that is led by our Geneva office, but we all promote it. And then we have an Ending Child Poverty initiative out of Nairobi. And that's an extraordinary initiative as well, tapping into what we call faith-inspired resources to address poverty. And then we have a global network of religions for children. This global network now works in over 60 some countries, and it brings together advocates from the grassroots, all volunteers, Shri. It's really quite encouraging to see how many people put so much dedication and time and don't get paid anything for their labor. So the global network is in many ways a movement that we try to sustain and promote. And then out of the New York office, we have this Prayer and Action for Children. And that is engaging every year using the World Day of Prayer and Action for Children, which we commemorate. We observe every year on November 20th, which you will remember is the day that the Convention on the Rights of the Child was adopted. And so we commemorate that day, and we coordinate around the world a wide range of activities to really get action going that will benefit children somehow.
Yeah. I have kind of followed your work in children in poverty, and I think the research, it's bringing out the framework that you use, and the research is different from, and it really complements what others are finding.
That's excellent. I'm very encouraged to hear that, and I'll have to tell my colleagues about that. Mm-hmm. We always work with UNICEF. UNICEF continues to be one of our key partners. And in 2019, to commemorate the 30th anniversary of the Convention on the Rights of the Child, we developed a study in collaboration with UNICEF and about, I don't know, more than a dozen other organizations. We produced a study called Faith and Children's Rights, a multi-religious study on the Convention on the Rights of the Child, which is now available in several languages, in, of course, English, Spanish, French, and now Arabic.
Mm-hmm.
So we're very happy that we were able to develop a study to bridge the gap between the human rights community and faith communities about what the Convention on the Rights of the Child really means, and looking at it from the perspective of 7 different religions. And it was very encouraging to see how much we had in common, actually.
Maybe you should spend a minute or two to tell us how those of us who are interested in our ex-UNICEF network could join or become members of the Arigatou in their own countries and see how they could contribute.
Well, thank you. That's a wonderful question, because we're always trying to get country offices to get engaged with us, you know? One way is by finding out whether there's a chapter of the Global Network of Religions for Children in the country where you may be located. And if you go to our website, you can see all the different countries and where the Global Network is located. So that's one way. It's a volunteer group. They can always appreciate and be grateful for any kind of technical assistance. You know, when you get a UNICEF former staff member involved, it will make all the difference in that committee's success and work. So that's one way. Also promoting what we're doing. We have now, we've initiated and established just last year a Wear My Shoes Award, where we try to look for promising practices at the grassroots level, promising practices that will, you know, promote children's rights in some way. Last year we looked at the right to education, and it was really very emotional in many ways for us to look at the applications for this award, because we promoted we issued 5 awards, each for $5,000, and these very small initiatives did so much with those funds. So we're doing it again this year, Shri.
Okay.
We just released an open call, and we're looking very much forward to receiving applications from around the world. And also you can help us in, for example, if you have time, to judge some of these applications, because we have a scoring system and we're always looking for judges.
How are youth and children actually involved? I mean, if they...
well, as a matter of fact, we work very much with children, and we engage with children. We have an intergenerational dialogue in everything we do. We really promote the participation of children in our activities. It takes a lot of work, and we've come a long way in making sure that children's participation is genuine, but also, you know, that we have the protocols in place so children's participation is safe and also, you know, highly respected by our partners. So it's very gratifying. I feel like for some reason I'm still at it, still working hard, but really glad to be here, and glad to be also very much connected with UNICEF. The executive director, Henrietta Fore, really got very close to what we were doing. You know, she really appreciated our work, understood the role of faith communities and the value of interfaith dialogue. So I think our job never ends, really.
So thank you very much, Rebecca. And that was a lovely interview. And we congratulate you.
Oh, thank you.
For the ex-UNICEF network. Congratulations and keep up the good work. And like I said, let's see how we could use our network to build up the connections in the countries, either as, you know, contacts and stuff like that with the other NGOs.
That would be really greatly appreciated. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye-bye. Thanks. Bye-bye now. Bye-bye. All the best. Bye-bye.